This video is where we really start to make the magic happen and to make it start to look good and start to make this document be visually appealing and useful for you as the user. So just to recap, the last video we created this document. We created a master grade sheet and we imported, we had two grade books imported already from the 4th and the 11th. We took the data from the 18th. We figured out the final calculated grade as a decimal / percentage, and then we imported it to this master spreadsheet by using a formula called XLOOKUP, which looks up an item, looks up, for our purposes, it looks up the ID number on this page. It looks for it in the specified sheet, which is whichever date correlates with it. And then when it finds that ID number on that sheet, it returns the percentage column, whatever's in the percentage column for that row. So that's how we get our grades. Next, what we want to do, what I like to do and is beneficial, is to start color coordinating stuff, or in Excel terms, conditionally formatting it. So what we're going to do, and one of the reasons I like to put the whole year in here again, earlier I said I just want to format what I want to format. I don't want to do extra work if I don't have to, or see extra stuff if I don't have to. So that's why we have the whole semester laid out. So for me, again, it's every Friday I have selected. So I want to highlight my grades based on the percentages they have. For my needs, at least for this document, I just break them down. I break them down by the grade bands, or by the percentages. So less than 60%, 60 to 69, 70 79, 80 to 89, and then anything above a 90. Those are the things I work with. I don't worry about anybody with modified grading scales at this point, because a big part of this is just being able to quickly see what a student is doing over the course of time. So let me show you how I do that. So I'm going to select the first box up here. So this is the first Friday I have, and then I just press Shift and select the bottom right corner, so the very last student for the last Friday. In Excel, you go to Conditional Formatting, and I have this nice drop down, Highlight Cell Rules. So we're just going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So you can just build along with me if you like. So first one we're going to do is less than 60. Anything less than 0.6, because remember, a percentage is just a decimal. And we formatted these to be percentages. If I didn't have them formatted, you would see, for example, last name I, their September 18th grade would be 0.0360. So anything less than a 60 or a 0.6, we're going to highlight it red. Okay, you see all these other things over here highlight red because it is less than 0.6. There's nothing in that. We're going to fix that right now at the end, for those of you who are anal about that, which I am one. So you see already, I can see which kids are failing across these 3 weeks. All right, let's add another rule. So highlight all those cells again, conditional formatting. Instead of going greater or less than, we're going to go between. So select between, and I'm going to go between 0.60 and 0.6999. Remember, we do two decimals, or I do two decimals, so you need to have 0.6999. And I'm going to make this color, let's see, I'm going to customize it. And I'm going to make it orange, I think, because orange seems like a D. So background color, just make it orange and call it good. And press OK. And so now I see all my D's. Everything is still highlighted, so I'm going to press conditional formatting again. We're going to make our C's then, so we're going to go between 0.70 or 0.7 and 0.7999. We're going to make this yellow fill. Okay. Okay, still selected. We're going to do conditional formatting. We're going to go between, where are we at? We're at a B right now, right? So 0.8 to 0.8999. All these colors are subjective. I'm going to make this one blue, B for blue. That's just the way my brain works, but it's, again, specific to you. If you want to use like different shades of gray, go for it. Okay, so good. And then we're going to go for the last one. We're going to go anything greater than 0.9. Actually, what we should do is anything greater than 0.89999. Add an extra 9 in there. So there we go. And now we can see our A's at the top. So now I have a very quick visual representation of my class just based on colors. I don't care necessarily what grades are at first glance. I can dig into that later if I want, but I can see, hey, there's a large chunk of C's in this class. I can just quickly see that. I can see how the curve is kind of coming out. So I told you we're going to get rid of these last red columns, right? Because we don't want those. So I'm going to add one more. I'm going to highlight cell colors, and I'm going to go text that contains. When you click that, it will bring up this rule. I'm going to go blanks. If it's containing a blank, I'm going to go and just make it gray, probably. So I'm going to go fill it with this light gray. Press OK. Done. Now, one thing you might have to watch out for is if you do conditional formatting and you click on these manage rules, and if you see this is like below, so like let's move this rule down to the very bottom. You'll see that it's all still red because the rules go in order. So what you're looking at is it's going to evaluate bang, bang, bang. So if it's greater than 89,999, green. Okay, if that's not true, you go to blue. If that's not true, you go to yellow. If that's not true, you go to orange. If that's not true, you go to red. And so you'll see, since red, this is true for red, that it is less than 0.6 because they're blank, that rule will evaluate first. So you just have to make sure sometimes these rules go in order. So we'll just click that and move that all the way to the top, and that will evaluate those empty cells first. So now at a glance, I see my grade book and I will see it progress through the semester. You know, next Friday when it is the 25th of September, I will download the grade book. I'll add the sheet down here. I'll do my formulas to pull in that data, and it will just highlight to a new color. So let's just mess with it for fun. So last name I, on the 18th, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change his percentage. Where's he at? Right here. Let's just say he got a 692. Okay, so he has a 3.6% right now. I'm going to press enter. He jumped up to a 99.57%. Let's go back to our master grade book, and you will see his grade changed to 99.57% and his highlighting changed to 99.57%. So what do you have? He had like a 25 before. Yep. Okay. So we can go back here and you'll see that it has changed back to a 3.6%. Very powerful. The next step we take is we're going to filter these. We're going to filter all these, and that's just a way. Oops, sorry. I'm going to start here. A, select all these, and we go to sort and filter, and I can filter it. What I do then is I will sort from the previous week, and I will sort so it's ascending. Okay, so last week I can see the grades, and then I can see where students have moved. So last name R, he moved from an F to a 73.3. So I would copy this kid, and at the very least, I would take his ID number, put it in total view action along with anybody else who improved their letter grades, and send them a quick email. Then I would follow up with a call with them probably. Likewise, I would go to last name N, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, they were doing really well, and they dropped down to a 66% from a B. So let's call them and find out what happened. Or I can go check my records to see if I graded a bunch of stuff that had a huge impact. Over time, this gets beneficial because, like I said, you can see trends with students, and you can see immediately, at least within 7 days, how you can step in and help students. Now, this is just for the master gradebook. Some other use cases might be, say you're doing a benchmarking scheme, or you're doing like different unit tests, or you're doing a daily ticket. Say you got kids that you're checking every day if they know how to solve an equation, right? So you can give them every day in a quiz in the class. You can give them like daily work, right? Solve this equation, and you can see over time, over a day, you just would adapt this same thing. You would download the spreadsheet, create a master document that has their ID number. Then you would break it down, benchmark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you would just import those sheets as you got them down here, use the XLOOKUP formula, and then you can track even data within a unit or within a set of standards you're trying to gauge against. You could do this for attendance. You know what I mean? You can pull in attendance and see how people's attendance goes up and down. So there's limitless possibilities to how you can use the XLOOKUP spreadsheets and conditional formatting to give you the data that you want. If you want to improve on this, by all means do it. My next steps, just to share with you that I'm going to attempt to do, is I want to create bar graphs that shows the growth, again, anything to make it more visual. And I know this video took a long time to set it up, but if you follow along, you'll be set up, and the most work you have to do every week is to download that grade book and then import it here and type in the formulas. And that is every week. That maybe takes me at most 10 minutes, and that's if I get distracted. And it pays so much over the course of the semester. It helps me so much with contacting students and very quickly seeing what's good or what's bad. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You can contact me in my email, and I am more than happy to help you with any specific problems or questions to the best of my ability.